Hey class, Professor Kev here. I want to talk about assignments for week before. So 4-4, nonverbal communication. The assignment gives you a clip from Seinfeld and from Big Bang. Respectfully, kindly, please use one of those two. What happened last semester? 5 students decided to use a whole different clip. They wrote about it, but they never uploaded the URL. I need to be able to watch the clip to grade it. I had no clip to watch. F. F. Now, if you've interacted with me, you know I have a little bit of empathy. I'm going to send you a message going, you didn't follow the instructions. You need to send me the URL so I can grade this. Class, students roll their eyes at me when I say this. Make life easier for your professor. Sorry, that's the truth. So again, going back to this, you don't send the URL. I can just give you an F. Didn't follow instructions. I can't do that as a human being. It bothers me to do that. You will have professors just be like, you should just use one of the clips. Also, think about what's happening now. Now, I'm familiar with those clips, so I can read your assignment, grade it. Now, you send me a whole different show I've never seen. This happened last semester. Student did send the clip. I've never seen the show. Saying, oh my God, this is my favorite show growing up. I want to share this clip. I didn't know that the main character is a well-behaved student. In the scene, she's not. And I'm like, I don't get it. So now I got to try to figure out what's going on. Again, I know this sounds selfish. I'm being honest with you. This is what's going through your professor's head. When you use the clips, I can look at it and go, yeah, I'm familiar with this. Now I have to go watch the clip you sent me with and without sound. So that's probably 10 minutes. And in this case, figure out what's going on in the show. So that's why I'm strongly encouraging you to use the clip. Again, if you want to use one that's different, you have to include the URL. Last semester, someone watched a clip from Friends and they sent me friends.com. That's not the clip. I need the actual clip you watched. Last semester, a couple semesters ago, someone sent me a clip. Whole different clip. Wasn't what's going on in the scene. Again, if you don't have the right clip, I can just give you an F on this. Now, again, it's not who I am. I'm not going to do that to you. But last semester, I did have a couple of students get an F because they never bothered to check their email and send me the clip. They look at it, they're like, oh, whatever. Again, make sure you're checking your email too. All right. We talked about that. And again, when I say this in class, in my in-person class, students are like, it's telling you the truth. That's what's going through your professor's head. All right, let's talk about the resumes. Now, you got to remember when you're doing this assignment, when those resumes were written. Let's talk about Fran. Fran graduated like 1978. That's when Fran started working. So Fran's even older than I am. I'm 61. So a lot of you go right after should he or she, whatever it may be, to not write down their education class. And during that time frame, not everyone went to college. What's kind of funny about Fran's resume is I think that was like my first resume. It looked just like that one. I graduated high school in 83, went to college for a little bit. So right around that time, that's what resumes look like. You focused on your experience. You didn't go, hey, this is what I accomplished. Just I got 5 years experience as an accountant. That's what was very common back then. The other resume, I kind of laughed at the font. I couldn't even read the name. They would not have gotten an interview with me. But again, that was super common during that period. So when you're doing this assignment, I want you to think about it might be challenging because most of you weren't alive back then, but that was super common. So when you're going right after, hey, there's no education, there's none of this, that was common. So in this assignment, I love this assignment because it shows just how much things have changed in 30 years. Things like objective statements no longer used because it's about you, not about the company. They don't care what your objectives are. Like, I want a rewarding job. Doesn't everyone? So when you're doing this one, just kind of try to take a minute to think about what was going on that time and talk about how things have changed. Where things like objective statements gone, hobbies are gone. You don't have hobbies on your resume anymore. So just talk to me a little bit about how things have changed. You have questions about this, as always, email me, text me, whatever you want to do. Remember, I typically check messages 6 a.m. to about 8 p.m. try to stop around 8 because usually I'm half asleep in the chair, to be honest, by 8 o'clock. So I try not to answer anything after 8. So make sure you save some time. But as you're doing these two, respectfully, kindly use one of the two clips. So in 4.4, why take a risk of forgetting to upload the URL and getting it wrong? It just, again, I have empathy. I've had professors, zero. They're just going to give you an F. Hey, make sure you read the instructions. Make sure you read the announcements. And that's important too. Make sure you're looking at the announcements because I'll try to guide you on those announcements so you don't do things like this. All right, thanks for watching. Again, any questions, send me a message. Hope you have a truly dazzling day.